hearts race.
And the crowd goes wild.
All across the planet, the dirt track warriors duke it out for what matters most.
The trophy.
And the glory. This is the Gas and Glory Podcast, presented by R&R Enterprises, with your hosts, Kyle Looters and Neil Quick.
Welcome to the land of ice bucket challenges, diecast sprint cars, sharp dress marketing guys, and salesmen on heart machines. This is Gas and Glory, coming to you direct from the studios here at R&R Enterprises. My name is Kyle Looters. His name is Neil Quick. And Neil, going through the list of what I just rattled off there, I think the one that fits you is salesman on heart machines. You feeling all right?
I'm feeling great, but we're about to have a marketing guy in a hospital, though. You can add that to the list of things.
Really? Okay. Well.
Yeah.
At least I'll go in there with some polished shoes and a pressed pair of pants, that's for sure.
Yeah, whatever.
You ain't got nothing to come back from that, do you?
I'm not saying anything.
Okay.
Let's talk racing, though.
Oh, man. Well, the first thing
Every once in a while, you just got to get your batteries recharged. I did.
That's what you're calling it?
Yeah, I had enough wires hooked up, man.
Dude, you seriously kind of scared me because it sounded like a Game Boy going down the hallway.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it did.
You didn't hear anything.
Maybe that was the sound effects I put to it as you walked down the hallway.
Yeah, it probably was. You just playing on the computer, playing your games in there.
Team R&R had a very good weekend this past weekend. Donny Schatz sweeps the events at Skagit as well as Grays Harbor to make it 6 straight victories in a row. He's going to be going for number 7. He's picked up back-to-back 20-win seasons now. And, Neil, we've talked about this, and we'll get into more a little bit later on, but Donny Schatz just absolutely on a tear. Rico, another driver on a tear, won the midget race at the Louis Vermeil Classic at Calistoga Speedway to open the weekend. Now, he also competed in the non-wing sprint car portion of it. He finished 3rd first night in a non-winged 410 sprint car. Came back the next night. What did he do? He won in the non-winger. Pretty impressive. Pretty awesome. You can't beat that.
Him and Bell both. I mean, no matter what them boys have jumped in this summer, they seem to take it to victory lane, and it's impressive. I think that's a great deal. That's a very, very prestigious race out there at Calistoga to win, and I think it'll carry a little bit of momentum this weekend into Gold Cup for Rico for being at Chico down there at Silver Dollar Speedway.
Silver Dollar Speedway, the site of the annual Gold Cup Race of Champions. We'll get into that here in just a little bit. Christopher Bell.
I think I got something to go with that. Rico conquers Chico.
Oh, gosh.
I'm telling you, it's those wires I was hooked up to, man. Batteries recharged, ready to rip.
Rico conquers Chico. Okay,
yeah, let me write that down. I'm gonna say that for a T-shirt. We'll write that down here. Okay, Rico conquers Chico.
You have that good idea once every 5 or 6 years, don't you?
Yeah, it comes along. It just
comes and goes.
Yeah, it does.
It comes and goes. Now, speaking of coming and going, our good friend Ken Schrader, who's in and out of our offices, it seems like about every other week. He picked up a very cool win in the Dirt Modified at DuQuoin. Also ran really well in the ARCA car. His Ken Schrader racing team did very well as well, too, in that ARCA race on dirt.
Joey Walsh got second up there, too. Good friend of R&R. He ran good, too, and I think the field was stacked in ARCA, between ARCA Modified and Silver Crown up there.
I'm telling you, man, ARCA cars on dirt, that, we make such a big deal about the NASCAR trucks being on dirt. ARCA's been running on dirt for quite a while.
We were talking about that this morning, actually, is the idea that the trucks being on dirt at Eldora and possibly going to Knoxville, throw them out there on DuQuoin, Springfield, and over there at Indianapolis on the miles. I mean, that's a great deal.
Take them to Syracuse.
Oh, boy.
The Moody Mile.
The pothole Moody Mile.
You've never been there.
I've seen enough videos to see that.
You've never been there.
I've never been there, but all it takes is a video to see it'll swallow a car.
Until you've cut grass at Syracuse, you have – oops, sorry, wasn't supposed to mention that.
Grass cutting.
Yeah, I was a grass cutter one year for Super Dirt Week.
Oh, I see how it works.
Yeah.
Okay.
World of Outlaws PR man by night. Ferris commercial mower operator by day.
Landscaping 101.
Landscaping 101, folks. Speaking of some great performances, Shane Cockrum won the Ted Horn 100 with
that was a big win on the weekend for me.
Oh, that was huge. Shane is a guy that we've known for a long time. Even has an R&R Racewear suit.
Well, and I'm disappointed to see, or disappointed myself not being there to see it in person. But that's one of those races that we talk about burning Kyle's apartment down. Shane Cockrum winning the.
Thank goodness this wasn't on TV.
Yeah, they'd still be putting out the fire.
You weren't anywhere near me with a certain beverage.
Oh, well, Cochran winning the Silver Crown race is pretty impressive, and got to give props out to him. I mean, that has been something that's on his bucket list of doing, and they've been working hard at that. And, man, he put a wheeling on them guys, and I know some good drivers up there between Jerry Coons Jr. and glad to see Levi Jones, too, come back out of retirement.
Came out of retirement.
Came out of retirement and gave the Fox 56 a good run, finishing up second there.
And we want to certainly give a tip of the cap to all of our Team R&R drivers on an excellent weekend. And, before we get on done with this, Antron Brown of Don Schumacher Racing, second at the U.S. Nationals in the top fuel category. That is truly awesome.
It is. It's impressive for Antron to come back and get second after kind of the weekend he was having there, digging himself out of the hole a little bit.
Well, you are very true, and congratulations once again to all of the members of Team R&R on a very successful weekend. And, Neil, we're getting ready to do something that we've been waiting a long time to do. Folks, I got to tell you, Diecast has arrived at R&R Enterprises.
I thought there was a snowmobile in the parking lot and you were going to
There
do a lap
is
here.
not a snowmobile yet in the parking lot, but focus here, Neil, focus. Diecast has arrived here, so there have been several people that placed pre-orders with us. And we told you that if you placed your pre-order at www.r-rracewear.com by July 31st, we were going to put your name into a drawing to win one of 3 sample cars that we were going to give away. Well, folks, today we are going to do that. Neil's got the big rotisserie out in front of us with all the names in it. Now, let me explain kind of the rules here. We have 3 sample
rules?
cars. Yes, we do have rules.
Okay.
This is not Outback. No rules, just right. Don't think about that. No.
So I can't accept texts by bribe or anything like that? Bribes for text?
You cannot accept any bribes, no.
Oh. All right.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't think there was any rules.
See what I have to deal with on a day-to-day basis, folks. Okay, here's the rules. You can only win
guys,
one
stop
car.
texting me now, okay? Just stop.
His phone is blowing up right now. You can only win one car. So if Neil draws your name twice, you've already won one car. That's how we're going to have to do this. We have 3 sample cars. Up first, we're going to draw for the Sammy Swindell, then the Joey Saldana, and then the Darren Pittman. Now, the way you got entered to win one of these things is for every 1/18th Diecast R&R Sprint car that you pre-ordered, you got an entry. So if you ordered 3 cars, all 3 of them, you got 3 entries in that box. So, Neil, why don't you give that thing a little bit of a crank? A little bit. Now, don't hurt yourself here.
Well, there's a lot of moving parts here, Kyle.
Well, that's why we're having you do it instead of me, because I'm clumsy.
Really?
Extremely. All right, come on.
All right, how many times I got to flip this thing over?
I don't know. Just do it wherever you feel right.
All right.
That thing needs some grease.
Yeah, it does. It needs some WD-40.
It's a little rusty there. All right.
Which car is this for?
This is for the Sammy Swindell Diecast sample car.
Sammy Swindell.
Reach in there, buddy. Fluffle around, fluffle around, fluffle around. Mix it, mix it, mix it.
All right, I got a live one here.
You got a live one?
Yep, I've got Clinton DeForest.
Clinton DeForest wins the Sammy Swindell car. Good job, Clinton. Thank you very much for your pre-order. All right, up next, the Joey Saldana one, the yellow Model Motorsports number 71M. The sample car Neil pulls out.
I've got Mark Wheel.
Mark Wheel. Congratulations very much, Mark Wheel. All right, third and final name. This is for the Darren Pittman sample car. Neil, here you go. Pressure's on, buddy. Who is it?
All right, I got Paul O'Neill.
Paul O'Neill. So, here we go, folks. Winner of the Sammy Swindell car is Clinton DeForest. Winner of the Joey Saldana car is Mark Wheel. And finally, the winner of the Darren Pittman car is Paul O'Neill. Congratulations to you guys. We're going to be shipping your diecast out to you here very, very soon, and we appreciate it very much. The great pre-orders that we experienced over at www.r-rracewear.com. And Neil, how exciting is it that these cars are finally here in our shop so we can get them sent out?
It's super cool, and as being a collector or just being excited seeing the new cars, I think it's really a neat deal, and super pumped, and hope the fans and collectors enjoy them.
And we certainly hope so, and we've gotten the chance to spend a lot of time with those cars, and they are gorgeous, excellent, beautiful pieces of work. We're looking forward to it, and we hope that you guys enjoy it. But, there's a few more things that I want to talk about here while we're on Gas and Glory this week. And by the way, you can find us on Facebook and on Twitter. We're also in the iTunes store. We're on YouTube as well, too. We're pretty much everywhere you want to be. Right?
Yeah, most of the time.
Most of the time, except for when you have the little heart machine hooked up to you?
Yeah, whatever.
I'm having way too much fun about that. But, Neil, I want to talk to you about Donny Schatz's dominance. We talked about it a little bit earlier on in the show. We've kind of gone back and forth on this. I think he's going to get over 30 wins. You maybe not as positive as I am on that. But what he's doing right now in the age of parity that we are in sprint car racing is almost unheard of.
Well, I think here at the end of the season, he's really actually taken a lot of the win out of the competitor sales. I mean, like Pittman and Paul McMahon and these guys that have really had good years that, honestly, it's been kind of streaky for everybody, including Donny, leading up to this, basically, I guess, the month of money. Once that's basically hit, I mean, coming in Knoxville, doing what he did there, and leaving Knoxville, I mean, he's obviously just found something that has meshed well, and can't say it. I mean, just like you said, it's just a dominant thing that's going on for Donny right now, and what is happening, and you don't see a lot. I mean, it's week in and week out, and he's sweeping these weekends. I mean, that's very impressive.
I mean, he is winning consistently night in, night out, and he's doing it from time trialing in anywhere, heat racing in anywhere. He is finding his way to the front come feature time, and that's, you know.
It's typical Donny Schatz, though. I mean, you got to think about it, especially this time of the year. We see a lot of this. Kind of maybe got spoiled in that, and then last year it just seemed like he came close. He just couldn't put it all together, and I think a little bit of that built up over the offseason. And again, I think there's a lot of things that's come together to make Donny run like this. I think he's having fun with that late model is a project on the side, and it maybe takes a little bit of pressure off.
It maybe takes a little bit of pressure off, but it also he might learn a few things in the late model that translate over to the sprint car. They're very different vehicles, but sometimes
of course, keeps him sharp.
Getting an outside perspective on things can obviously make a difference. But yeah, Donny Schatz well on his way. I still say he's going to get to 30 wins, and
he'll be close.
Oh no, he'll get there.
He'll be close.
He'll get there.
We'll see. We still got a couple more weeks here to find out.
Dude, we got like 2 more months to find out.
Yeah, but the races start falling off a little bit, and not as many races. But we'll see what happens. I think he's going to be good for a good 25, maybe 26, right in there strong-wise. I don't know if he'll get 30, but if he does, you look like a hero.
Do we want to put a bet on this?
No more bets.
No more bets? Come on.
No, I'm being on that heart machine. I might be here day to day, you know.
Neil, we are happy to report Neil is doing fine. Just precautionary measures. We don't want to lose Squeal. I mean, who would I debate with in Squeal or No Squeal? I just don't have the life left into me to break in a new co-host. But yeah, we talked about Donny Schatz's dominance. Rico Abreu, 19 wins across multiple different machines. He's the next big thing. He's already here, doing a fantastic job. Christopher Bell has really come on strong this year. Picked up the midget championship last year in USAC. He's been stout in everything he's been put in as well, too, this year. Picked up his first World of Outlaws victory. One of the races coming up, Neil, is the Gold Cup Race of Champions. And my question to you is the Gold Cup still the preeminent race in California? Is it still the crown jewel of California open wheel racing, in your mind?
Not as much as what I think that it used to be 5-6 years ago, even maybe 10 years ago. I think that you had the Gold Cup, which was the preeminent race on the West Coast, the National Open basically on the East Coast, and Knoxville Nationals being the major one. I think that's gone away a little bit, but I still see it as definitely the West Coast guys, guys like Rico and Tim Kading and them guys. It still is that event that is the big event for out west that those guys like being able to take and say, hey, we won that, we beat the Outlaws, put that on their belt kind of thing. But it has lost a little bit of that because of the fact I think the purse money being down a little bit and some of the prestiges went away from it in the past couple of years. But it is one of those races that's still on the list to win. I mean, it's one of those big ones. I mean, you got to talk about 10 races, and that's definitely in a list of them.
Well, Hall of Fame careers, Hall of Fame resumes are judged in part by how many Gold Cup Race of Champions the Gold Cup Race of Champions that you have won. But I would make a compelling argument that the preeminent race in California has become Trophy Cup at Tulare.
I heard that earlier a little bit in the year, and it could go either way. I mean, Trophy Cup, Gold Cup, either way. Either way, you still want to win all the races you can.
Well, absolutely. At least that's what you try to do during your illustrious racing career. We won't get into that.
All two of them.
But
Yes.
we are here today also, Neil, to talk about a very exciting race coming up this fall. I am just over the moon, jazzed up, and excited about this, folks. Here today on Gas and Glory, we are announcing the inaugural Kyle Luter Street Stock Invitational.
Wow, that's impressive.
That is impressive. Now, I'm going to say that this is, first off, a great honor to have a race named after my racing prowess.
Well, I know we were kind of talking about this, and
Well,
I actually
hold
had it labeled as the Kyle Luter Street Stock Memorial.
Yeah, I was not happy about that. No. I'm
Why?
not dying between now and October.
You might be done after this one.
Yeah, this race will take place on October 11th. It's 100 laps. It's at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And you might be asking how we're going to pull all this off. One word: iRacing. We are issuing the challenge right now. We want to hear from all of you Gas and Glory listeners via Facebook, Twitter, however you can get a hold of us. We want to know how many of you out there have iRacing and how many of you want to participate in the inaugural Kyle Luter Street Stock Invitational. We will have plaques for first through third.
Yeah, they're going to be awesome. Be a neat race to have and be able to race with the listeners and get to see all these skills that Kyle talks about from week in and week out.
You know, I am the street stock legend. And that name, that is not a self-proclaimed nickname. That was given to me by you.
Yeah, just a few times on the track, you actually earned that one, bud.
Well, do you want to tell the folks at home why I am the street stock legend?
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons. I don't know if we can go into detail. I think in about 5 minutes of practice, they'll figure out exactly what it is, bud.
It's just that sheer dominance that comes with the old car number 7.
Yeah, it's more like being petrified being on the same track with you, bud.
Hey, everybody has their strategy. You have yours, I have mine.
Well, this is kind of a neat thing and looking forward to it. I know we were joking around a little bit this past week with it, but I think we got some big plans in store for this deal and to put it out there in front of the fans and let them see us run the iRacing deal and get to race against them. And definitely, all the fans, calling all you guys out, all you weekend warriors or weekly, nightly racers on iRacing that think you can do it. Like to see shoot us an email and like to see as many as people as we can get into this be available for it. I mean, it could be a neat deal.
It's going to be October 11th. I think that is a Thursday, or is that a Friday? It's a Thursday.
Thursday night.
It'll be a Thursday night. We're going to run 100 laps in the street stock at Charlotte. So just wanted to give you a heads up there. I have 27 wins at Charlotte.
I was talking to Ryan earlier in the sales office, and I guess just the talk of this possibility of this race going down, I think he had to knock the old cobwebs off and get some laps in this weekend. So seen a lot of people out there doing that. Fired up the old computer this weekend and anxious to see what everybody's got and like to hear comments about it. So.
Well, be sure to get a hold of us on Facebook and Twitter. It's the inaugural Kyle Luter Street Stock Invitational. Come and race with the folks at R&R, and you might even pick up a really cool plaque. And the last thing we need to talk about here, Neil, let's get into our preview coming up for the weekend. The Outlaws, as we mentioned, head to Chico, Silver Dollar Speedway for the Gold Cup, and then over to Antioch Speedway to wrap up the second West Coast swing. Give me a couple of names, some drivers to keep an eye on at Chico.
Definitely, we got to throw in Rico. I mean, he's got to be at the top of the list. Rico at Chico.
Rico wins Chico.
I'm not saying necessarily wins, but Rico's going to be strong at Chico. He's going to give him a fit. Okay, Donny Schatz. We've been talking about him most of the show, on a tear. In fact, I think I read something earlier. I don't know how true it is, but somebody said that he hasn't been passed in a feature since July 5th. I think that was out on IB Racing or something I seen.
Well, he hasn't fallen back in a feature because he started 5th and I think finished 11th or something like that. But he's been going forward ever since then.
Dodge City, yep.
Yeah, so that'll be cool. We got a couple of names there, and then
can't count out Tim Kading out there, no matter what you put him in. I don't care if he's racing Working Woody.
Coolers?
Working Woody. He could fire up Working Woody and take him on out there.
Oh, I would pay good money to see that. And then finally, the other thing, World 100 at Eldora the battle for the globes, all enter equal, the victor emerges immortal. Give me a couple of guys to keep an eye on at the World 100.
Again, I'm going to go on the young side with this with guys like Bobby Pierce. I think Bobby Pierce is somebody to watch over there. Can't count out the veterans, of course. Dale McDowell, Billy Moyer, Jason Fager. Some of these guys.
Fager Nation out there.
And, you can't count out some of the locals. I really like the idea that Dwayne Chamberlain, really, really strong over there. Wouldn't mind.
Insane Dwayne.
Love to see Insane Dwayne win, just like we seen Cochran win the Silver Crown race. Couldn't you imagine Insane taking down the World 100?
They'd burn down Eldora.
Everybody will meet you at...
No. You
can't even get it out.
Nope.
Kyle's apartment.
We're not watching at Kyle's place. Kyle will not be in the country.
How's your insurance doing over there, buddy?
Yeah. I have to pay higher premiums when Ryan and Neil come over. That's a fact. That's a fact.
Oh, man.
So, but no, that...
I guess we'll move it to St. Henry Nightclub.
That's going to be a road trip, but I think Bill would be up for that.
Well, I mean, if he knows our past history, he might not even let us pull in the parking lot.
We can't take the excursion.
No, that cost us, what, a rear windshield wiper last time?
Yeah, last time we took the boss's car over to the St. Henry Nightclub, the rear windshield wiper was ripped off of it mysteriously after our victory party. So, anyway, that's what's coming up, folks. The Outlaws head to Gold Cup. The late models are at Eldora Speedway for the World 100, and guess what, Neil?
What?
It's now time for my favorite part of the show, Squeal or No Squeal. Each and every week, ladies and gentlemen, Squeal and Neil Quick and I take on 3 mostly racing-related questions, and we give our opinions in the form of a squeal if we agree and a no squeal if we do not. Are you ready, Neil?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, you've got question number 1, buddy.
Will Rico Abreu be a teammate to Kyle Larson someday in NASCAR? Yeah, I'll go squeal on that. Good possibility. I mean, relationships and that they've been racing together all along, and Kyle, I think, is one of the biggest spokesmen for Rico.
I would absolutely agree with that. Jamie McMurray, one of my favorite NASCAR drivers, but I could see Rico in that car maybe 5 years, now, if even that. When we had Rico on this show earlier this year talking to him, he said that he wants to win the Daytona 500, the Indy 500, and whatever else is out there. So I could definitely see Rico inside a NASCAR Sprint Cup Series car one time and talk about a potent 1-2 punch. Kyle Larson and Rico Abreu.
I think it'd be a neat deal and a big thing all around. Love to see Rico make it up to that level.
All right, question number 2 for Squeal or No Squeal today. Does a Don Schumacher Racing driver win the countdown to the championship either in Top Fuel or in Funny Car this year?
Squeal.
Okay.
I'm not sure which one, but I'm going to go with one of them, so I'm going to throw it up against the wall.
Whoa. Time out. That's like saying you're picking a team from the AFC to win the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Oh, my. You got to...
whatever. How can you not? I mean, you got Antron Brown and Tony Schumacher. I mean, how can you pick one over the other? They're both just as good, and I think both of them are capable of winning the championship.
I think on the Funny Car side of things, it's going to be a little more difficult than on the Top Fuel side.
I agree with you.
On the Top Fuel side, I'll take Antron Brown right now.
Antron made a heck of a comeback this past weekend, and I think there's a little bit of momentum carrying out of that deal.
Oh, yeah. Antron, real cool guy.
Yeah.
Very awesome to deal with. But, yeah, he's got my pick. If there's going to be a Don Schumacher driver that wins the countdown to the championship, it's going to be Antron Brown.
You can't count out the Sarge, though.
Yeah, all right. I'll tell you what. You take the Sarge, and I'll take Antron Brown. We'll see where we're at come November.
Okay. Give us something to talk about.
Sounds good to me. And question number 3, Neil.
I can't even read this one. Will Ryan Russ survive the opening lap of the inaugural Kyle Luter Street Stock Invitational? Is this the inaugural lap as in green flag or under caution?
This is the opening lap. This is when, Ken Square said, and they're barreling down into turn 1.
I will go with absolutely a no squeal on this, and I'll actually take it a step further. I think he's going to have a tough time just actually not getting in an argument, too. I mean, we should have added that on here, too.
There is going to be a penalty system for verbal assault.
This guy is going to be at the top of the list.
There will be fines levied in this race.
We're going to have a penalty box. He'll be sitting in at half of it.
I'm going to go Squeal. He doesn't make it through lap number 1. Somebody's going to take him out.
I guarantee. Ryan, I love how you worded this. Ryan the Rough.
Ryan the Rough.
Oh, boy.
Ryan the Racer Rough will not survive the opening lap of the inaugural Kyle Luter Street Stock Invitational.
This thing's not till October 11th. I'm sure the trash talking is going to get severe around
It's
here.
going to get pretty bad. We're going to be keeping you guys up to date on that. Want to remind you one more time that this has been Squeal or No Squeal here on Gas and Glory. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, iTunes, and YouTube. And before we get on out of here today, Neil, how was your Labor Day weekend, bud?
Good. It was relaxing and just got to hang out with the family a little bit and really kind of a neat deal. And I think it was last blast of summer, so kind of nice to just kind of relax.
Still doesn't feel like summer's gone. It's still hot outside.
Yeah, it's been extremely hot, and actually it looks like it's going to cool off a little bit. But it was nice to have some downtime.
It certainly was hot. I remember sweating to all beat heck at a football game on Saturday in Columbia, Missouri. But the Mizzou Tigers did win, so that's good news there. That's very good news there. So before we get on out.
Hey, by the way, since we're talking a little bit of sports, do you know who is actually in the first place of the NL Central now?
The Cubs?
No. Try not.
The Reds?
Okay. The Cardinals.
Oh, that team. Okay.
They're in first. Do you remember? I mean, we've talked about this throughout the summer.
Neil, you are the Cardinals' worst fair weather fan.
They are first. Where are the Rockies? Where are the Rockies?
The Rockies are Bush League.
There you go, folks.
No, folks, I want to tell you this. I want to tell you this right now. Neil Quick is the world's worst fair weather fan. And I'm going to tell you why. Because when the Cardinals aren't doing so hot, Neil is miserable around this office. Neil is walking around, he's angry, he's upset, and he's sitting around telling everybody that the season's over, all hope is lost, we might as well start planning for 2015. They reel off about 5 or 6 wins, get into first place, and now the coronation has begun.
It's September.
The coronation has begun. Now you're anointing them World Series champions.
You guys just can't handle it. They're in first, and we're in September, coming down the home stretch, going into October. Here we go.
Yeah, here we go. And speaking of that, it's time for us to go. We want to thank you guys for tuning in to Gas and Glory. Please remember you can pick up your favorite driver's gear over at www.r-rracewear.com, the web's largest store for dirt track racing apparel and merchandise. On behalf of everyone here at R&R Enterprises, he's Squeal and Neil Quick, and I'm Kyle Luters, and we'll see you next week.
You've been listening to Gas and Glory, presented by R&R Enterprises. All rights reserved. Please visit the web's largest sprint car store today at www.r-rracewear.com. The views and opinions expressed in the show are the host and guest alone and do not directly reflect those of R&R Enterprises.